Okay, who do you think is hotter? Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman?
Hotter? Well, Captain Marvel because she burns.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
You have now joined the A Couple Podcast Show. Let me introduce our hosts, Laura and Xavier.
Hello, everyone. This is Laura here.
And this is Xavier.
Oh, I'm gonna get my
And
feet
we're
up
back
here.
again with another movie review. I'll give everyone an update since I have everybody at the start of this. I am working on redoing our website to make it a little bit easier for everyone involved to find material that you want to see from us. So a heads up, it's coming up soon. It'll probably be done next week or the week after, but you will know and just stay tuned. Now that's going to be happening.
Yep.
So we are talking about a movie that we saw just last night.
Yep.
And that is Captain Marvel.
Yep. We
Oh.
did.
I saw already we already looked at. There's a few people talking about it. There was the issue with people putting fake reviews. I all that from Phil the
Yeah, actually, apparently, where the tomato place or whatever.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So now they have, because of this movie, they have now made it so that you cannot put a review up until that movie has actually released.
Which I think is
It makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was already a thing.
Well, I think that they did it that way because there are people who see it early, like the critics and the reviewers, the media, those kind of people.
Yeah, the early release,
they're allowed to see it early so that they can get their reviews out and put it up. So I think that's the reason why it was active. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense for me that
and it's funny this how there's
always that anti-review kind of thing going on.
And the funny thing is that it really shouldn't be. The DC and Marvel universe, they shouldn't be like two sides rivaling. These are just two separate companies that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, and just in different worlds, I mean, it's like, I think it's kind of silly too, because I feel like, okay, you want more comic book movies or whatever, then you should be cheering for both.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, everybody needs to go up. We want Marvel to succeed. We want DC to succeed. To put out awesome movies. I mean, that's what we want to win at the end. So on that note, because of all this extra stuff on it, I did want to add maybe at the end of our review, just a little comparison to another movie, and that was Aquaman. That it felt like there's, from what I've seen so far, it's held in contrast, and I think a little undeserving. In my opinion, a little undeservingly compared to this movie. But
of course, there's also a lot of comparisons to Wonder Woman.
Yes. Oh my goodness, there it is. Okay, so I guess maybe we can start the comparison off just with Wonder Woman. Between the two, you saw one. Well, we both saw Wonder Woman back then, and I see a lot of the feminist wording kind of thrown out there. What do you think? I know everybody, and I know even the Marvel people has even said it being something feminist. What do you think about that as a woman? Or should I mansplain for you?
I mean, the thing is, like, I am for strong female lead roles, and both of them are trying to do that. But I am not for agendas like, feminism or anything like that. Like,
yeah, you want a movie to hold as a movie on its own. If you have that goal, just tell it through your story.
I feel like it shouldn't be like, oh, this is a feminist movie because it's got a lead, a woman that's a lead in it. Like, no, the moment we've made it is the moment we don't have to make that kind of remark. Like, it's just, the main character is a woman, and that's great. So now let's focus on that and let's make it the best movie we can make it. It shouldn't be about like, oh, how many little snippets can we sneak in there that are like woman power all the way, or I don't know.
Here's my take as I get ready for me to mansplain this point.
Okay.
I didn't think about womanism or the feminazi or whatever, all that stuff going into the movie. It wasn't in my back of my mind. I just know that before I watched this, I saw Aquaman. So I was thinking, okay, how they're gonna work on those points I like and dislike from Iron Man. For some reason, I just had in my mind to kind of compare the two, because I think the way that there is some similarities there, you replace space with water, and there you go. Their storylines, I think, there's the similarities. I think.
I mean, not really. You know, she had amnesia, so she didn't really know who she was, and she thought she was somebody else, but what ended up not being that person. Whereas Aquaman, he knew who he was. He was raised on the knowledge of who his mother was and his father was, and this half world, you know, I don't belong to either side kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so their storylines aren't all that similar.
Okay. Well, okay. But it's my weird, obscure way of trying to
Aquaman did throw in the normal, we have to have a love interest thing into this, whereas Captain Marvel didn't do that.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think if they did that, it would have changed the dynamic from, you could remove the feminist movement. Because I think that's one thing I've seen common. If the lady doesn't get with anybody, then it's female empowerment. But if she does, then it's just the movie, which I think is not. I'm just gonna call that out. If there's a female role and she's leading it, and she doesn't end up, being with anybody, it's female empowerment. It happened with Disney. What's the other very redheaded princess?
Little Mermaid?
No, not Little Mermaid. She's definitely a love interest in that one. It was she was Nordic. Maribel or things like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The going with the bow and arrow and the bear and all that.
Yeah, and of course with
Brave.
Brave, yes, and of course also with Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same thing.
But they did have the sister who had the love interest.
Exactly, but people still call that female empowerment as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, women fall in love. We do that too. We see a guy and we go, ooh, or a girl and go, ooh, so I don't think that takes away or doesn't, it's kind of weird. Like Wonder Woman, I think, did that well. Like she had a love interest. They even weren't married or anything and still did it, we never saw them do it, but we know they did it.
What are you talking about? They just looked in each other's eyes deeply, and then the scene cut the black. It happens to everybody.
The door closes. But still, I feel like that actually shows a more realistic, strong woman, is the fact that, hey, I like this guy, but I'm not defined by this guy.
This is a female version of 007.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, the saying for Marvel, she wasn't any of those.
Man, you sleep with more than one person and you're a slut.
Yeah, guys are supposed to be sluts.
Apparently.
Anyway, we haven't got to really talk about the movie. This is all the stuff that's been talked around the movie that didn't seem to have much context to the movie as a movie at its whole.
Well, I think people, and this is why I try not to watch reviews or anything on a movie before I go see it, or to read any reviews on it or news stories, because people change their perception of a movie while they're watching it depending on what is going on around it. So all of a sudden they hear this lead actress said something that might have been like, oh, she hates men or whatever, then this whole movie becomes this horrible thing. And it's like, no, don't think about what she did outside of it. Just, concentrate on her, on the movie itself. Was it a good movie? Yeah. Did it have, plot points and good scenes and good CGI? Yeah. Did you like the characters, or did you not care whether they died or not? Those are the basis of whether the movie is good or not. And of course, whether it entertained you. So, I've been entertained by bad movies before.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell us right now whether or not you think this movie is at least qualifies good, bad, or in between?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that I ever really need to watch it again. It's not one of those where it was like, wow, my mind was just completely blown. I liked a lot of the scenes that they had. Nick Fury was really kind of cool. And, and just seeing I think the things that excited me the most were I can't wait till Endgame.
Yes. Those little Easter eggs. Those were seeing the. I guess we know it's spoilers, but when you see this one thing, it's bright and shiny. Yeah. And I'm not saying any particular colors, but it's very cool. I didn't give anything away with that. Oh, okay. Yeah. But here's what I think. I think it falls under like kind of like the Batman movie, maybe with extra water on top. But like the Batman is not the main reason you go to see a Batman movie. You're there for the plot, the villains, everything around it, and I think that's where I can definitely say it's a solid, good movie for me. The villains with what was going on and the switch there, very interesting. They're how everybody has their own like unique abilities, like I don't know, shark teeth or whatever they'll give for the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Really played well with how the storyline and kind of adding to the plot and the story as a whole. And I think that was done in a very solid way. There wasn't much of where people had to explain directly by saying by using the words to explain instead for letting you see what's going to happen. They did a very good job of just kind of communicating it silent for the next scene to happen. I really enjoyed that part of it, so I think that was really good. And Nick Fury. Okay, what do you think of his character going back into looking more in his younger days? What do you think of his character? How did he do?
I mean, it was his normal self. I mean, he has not changed.
Actually, at any point, I could just imagine him just stopping and just saying, Capital One, what's in your wallet? And
Right?
Just,
I know.
But he definitely does his role. I mean, that's because I think even though he doesn't have to do much in it, he just has to be himself. Like, we're just going to roll the cameras and Sam, just call yourself Nick Fury and go. and he just nails it without even having to try. So he just has one of those personalities that's going to be entertaining no matter what he does. You can just have a camera sitting outside the bathroom and just hear whatever's going on, and people will still be glued to the screen. Like, what is he doing? Oh no, it's a big one.
Look, I do feel crazy. Like it took me a moment to realize, and I mean, I had read it, but it took me a moment to realize that we were back. Like in the back, in later years or a while ago or whatever,
back in time. Yes.
Yeah, they really, they put a lot of like, hey, we're at this planet now. They should have done something like that with this is not present time Earth kind of thing. Because I feel like when I saw the Blockbuster thing, I was thinking like, oh, we know where she's at because there's only one Blockbuster left.
Okay.
So it took me quite a while.
That one closed, by the way.
Huh?
Yeah, that Blockbuster closed.
Oh, figures. But but still, it was like it was a little hard for me to be like, wait, what? Oh, okay, we're not in present day.
Exactly.
Gotcha. I got it now. But it took me a while to get there because it wasn't very obvious. They didn't make it that obvious because I mean. Just because there's like people.
So, what was the moment that did call out to it? I have an idea what the answer is, but when was it? He was like, "Oh, this is not current times." I picked on it instantly.
Yeah,
because I saw the trailer.
Well, I saw the trailer too, and I had read about it. It just took me a while to remember that, like, oh yeah, no, we're not in present time. I don't know if there was like a specific moment because like any of that stuff, even the phone booth thing or whatever, like, obviously there aren't many phone booths now, but there are still some. So you kind of thought about that. Maybe she was using her tech or something like that and making this old, it just wasn't very obvious. And they kept doing the whole like thing, we're at Krell, planet or whatever, or we're at C-53 or, whatever. They did all that stuff down the bottom. Why couldn't they put like this is back in 1992 or something?
And this is probably one of the parts where I feel like it's a good thing they didn't like just yell it out and say it because I kind of picked it up on it like, oh, okay, I get it, they're back there. There's a couple songs they were playing that was definitely nostalgic of the time that I remember hearing.
Yeah, and I got all of that too. But again, I don't think it was good that they didn't do that.
Like they should have said. Out, we're in what time and what year at this state or something like that.
Well, the thing is, okay, we're talking about a movie that, is in a long progression of Marvel movies, so I'm automatically on the timeline of the last Marvel movie I saw, and I'm trying to figure out like, okay, where is this going to like bring me? And are we before all the people, got halved, or after that? Or, I'm trying to figure out the progression of this whole timeline. It's not just about this movie, but about the whole thing.
I think you have a unique perspective. But, okay, let me put it this way. I knew this was going to be in the past before going to the movie theaters, because a lot of the trailers and a lot of timeline, and of course Samuel Jackson was in the commercials, and he had both eyes, and he had, of course, tons of makeup to make him look younger.
I had read the articles too, so I did know those things going into there, but it took me a while to get into the mindset of, oh, this is before all of that. It's still, I really feel like they should have put that down there, because it took me out of the movie because I was thinking so hard about it, and so it took me a while to get back into it. And so it did that where, I don't know, you leave. Okay. So when you're watching a movie, sometimes you get like sucked into it and you're like a part of the world, it took me out of it. Yeah.
Immersion.
It took me out of that.
Okay. So they're on Earth. She's clearly acting weird because she's definitely not used to the planet. For a lot of people that were saying, like, they enjoyed her character before that point happened, and then they kind of, once she got on the planet, she just became very muted. How about her and which I can't think of her name right now. Remember her name? I can think.
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Yeah. No, that was the scientist.
What?
No.
What are you talking about? Her name, her character, or the actress?
The actress.
Yeah, Brie Larson.
Oh, okay, Brie Larson. Brie Larson. What do you think about her and Nick? Now I can't say anything now.
Samuel Jackson?
Yes. What do you think about their connection? Was there like a good playback with them?
I think they were fine together. I liked it when they were together more than when she was by herself. I think she's one of those that, whether it's the actress or the character, I don't know, but she's better when somebody else is on screen with her. When she was just by herself, it was kind of like, all right, we can go to the next. No, she needs someone to interact with.
I kind of wish from that, like, I enjoyed how, like, they had a few banners, with going, like, banter as they're going back and forth. What I do wish is that there's like those certain points where, for I guess Veer at the time, and then she changed her name again in the movie. But there was a few points where she was correcting Sam on certain things, like, I'm not going to name anything specific, not giving anything away, but there were some things like she was kind of correcting him, showing that she knew her stuff and whatever. Maybe those would have been the female empowerment moment. I kind of like that, like, we see Sam Jackson as this, top elite, top dog, and then him actually kind of getting his stuff back in return, and like the fact that she was kind of throwing that. I wanted to see more of that. Actually, just kind of like, take those scenes and just kind of amp it up a little bit with her trying to hit him hard with it.
I do feel like a lot of times, I when they were doing their bantering scenes, it kind of felt like they were reading lines. And
like, it wasn't really like a really good connection.
It wasn't like an actual conversation.
It was serviceable. I think for most people, you'll look at it like, okay, that was a scene, but it's like, you guys should have really hit harder on that.
Yeah, it should feel like you're watching a conversation, whereas it felt more like I was watching people read lines, and so, yeah, again, that's the immersion thing that, you get pulled out of it. So, but yeah, otherwise I enjoyed them together, and, it was good.
All right. So we this is going to going more so in the movie. There is the guys we're gonna call the bad guy from the beginning. What we thought were the bad guys from the beginning. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
The Skrulls?
I think, yeah, because they were the Skrell.
Skrell? I don't know, Skrulls or whatever. The guys who could look like anybody.
Yes. So the lead guy on that, when he actually started talking or having his actual scenes, I found that he kind of reminded me a lot of from what's the other with Star-Lord and his team,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, the guy who kept saying, like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. he kind of reminded me a little bit of that guy when he actually started talking and actually having a character. And I would say he had so much of character in his few times that he was on screen that I think his character he had more character than Larson did. And this just like I felt like I liked him more, like literally liked him more. Like I think he would have been a cool guy. Like just keep him on. Don't kill him off, please. I want to hear more from him. He's a good character. I felt like I wish that it was him and Samuel Jackson in the car. And it was a scene in there where they're sitting there in like the back of one of the mini vehicles that appear in the movie, where there is a short back and forth between him and Sam, and I swear like there was a better connection there. Like there's a lot more opportunity. I would just want to watch an hour of those two just I don't know passing beers back and just talking. That would have been good. I liked his character.
I don't know. I mean, for me, like as you're like talking about that, I was thinking back to earlier in the movie when, you know, she was captured by them and then she got loose and had the like thingies around her and stuff. And there was like a fight scene where she was fighting a bunch of them with the iron fist kind of things on. And then she, you know, got them all down and there was this, yeah, awesome, I did it, you know, and off she went. And I like watched that part and I was like, no, I hated that because that was the whole like, I'm a woman and I just beat all these guys and pat on the back, you know, and off she goes.
I didn't mind that.
I hated it. It was like, why did we just have to watch her like pat herself on the back practically?
Okay, going back to the fight scene, what do you think about the fight scenes?
I mean, they were good. I liked them.
I love the fight scenes. They were pretty. I mean, the weird things she had going with the hands and everybody coming at her. I wasn't sure. I think before you didn't really get to understand the extent of her power, other than seeing like one or two people like pop up every now and then. But actually, kind of seeing like that her arms kind of limited. It was interesting. It was an interesting way to do the fight. I think that was pretty cool.
Honestly, I think like for me, it was different than everybody else. Everybody said they liked her in the beginning. I actually didn't start liking her until she was like telling the people off when they were trying to control her again near the end. And she was just like, oh, I've been fighting with my one hand behind my back the entire time. And what happens when I like, you know, don't? And I was like, yeah, okay, I like you now.
There is like this one, I think in a way it's like, it was just a fun scene. Like, I don't think it had like much purpose, but just to be fun. But yeah, she loses the restraints. She's just in a room with everybody else and the other real bad guys. And she is just going to town. Like she could destroy them, but she's just playing with them. And it's just like, I think that part was just fun. Yeah. Like she knows that she's playing with them. They throw something, boom, and boom. And it was like, that was cool.
Yeah. Although, you know, really, in all honesty, how did she know that she could do all that? Like, there was some, like, you could see where she was like a little like, oh, wow, I'm a little surprised that my power just did that. But, like, there was a lot that, like, I mean, you just naturally knew how to do all this now.
I do think there's, like, some movie, like you have to think, you think you put we'll call it
your brain away?
Yeah, I think we'd call it maybe your movie hat on, your movie brain. Like, okay, just absorb it. I just believe. He's saying this, he's saying wearing a visible blanket. I can clearly see him. Sure, whatever. We're just going to go with it. So there are some moments that are just like that. I guess. The part of the plot definitely had it when they were talking about this certain mission that they need to go do. Part of me kind of threw my brain out on that because like there's probably a better way, and you don't need this to do this. In fact, if anything, because do this secret mission is how Larson got her powers, or her character got her powers. Shouldn't you have just done that several times? And that would have been far more helpful for you in your mission if you could have just, or if you just need to find someone you trusted to do that, just to do that. That would have actually fixed your problem. But anyway, that's just something I had to say on it too. So coming closer, I think we're getting closer towards the end of the movie, where pretty much very quickly it goes from all right, everything, everybody is butts are kicked, and then, oh no, this big guy we forgot about is coming in, and then goes from 0 to 60 in like a couple of seconds. For me, I was okay. It did its job.
Yeah, I know. Like she was like fighting all the other ones, and then like all these other spaceships start showing up, and I'm going like, what? How is she going to get like? And then like, how have we never heard about any of this happening until now? You know, because again,
they did have like a couple scenes before that led up to the moment. Like, oh yes, those guys, I remember them. But at the same time,
I mean, like in the whole timeline of the Marvel universe, you know, again, we're talking about a movie that is pretty much the prequel to all of the other movies we've already seen.
Well, not the prequel, because it's Captain
America. Yeah, technically Captain America, I guess. So is he older than her then?
Yes.
I guess he is.
Yes, he is.
He's the oldest one there. Well, yeah. Well.
So he should technically outrank Captain
Except maybe
Marvel.
the aliens.
Which one?
I don't know. Like a lot of them. We don't know their age, you know, like how they live and how long they live.
I think that puts Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy at maybe the oldest.
Well, yeah. I mean, we only know age based upon Earth's timeline. What are the aliens' age timelines? You know, we have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but we went off.
We've rambled. Welcome to the podcast, folks. This is going to happen every now and then. I am trying to keep us on track.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
I keep going off track. And we were getting near the end of the movie. And I want to ask you your opinion on what did you think about how that happened. And then we'll include the credits after that, because I have a feeling we have things to say.
I think the one thing that I really want to know is if they're going to try to take the little girl, you know, and make her something like another character when she's older, you know, like maybe she's going to show up at some point.
Who knows?
Because, I mean, I feel like they, like, focused an awful lot on her. And she was really cute and all, you know, but they made mention about, like, you know, hey, maybe I'll build a spaceship or things like that. And this girl obviously has seen some pretty crazy things now at such a young age. That's got to affect who she's going to become when she becomes an adult. You know, and now that we're going to be going into, you know, present time from past, she's quite a few years older now.
I mean, or there's the possibility that the same thing that happened to Thor and his girlfriend, and she just it's just written away. We don't hear about anything anymore. Who knows?
I don't know. I feel like they put a lot of like, yeah, we're gonna do something with her kind of thing. You know?
I'm hoping it's not a waste. Okay, now going on to the end credits.
You mean the after credit scenes?
Yes.
Okay.
So of course, the scene, you'll get a simple scene. This isn't a spoiler. You're gonna get a simple scene that shows probably what's gonna happen. You can
just Google these things and find them now.
Yeah. You know what? It's no, I don't want to spoil it. But I'll just simply say it's nothing amazing. In fact, I feel like there's a little after.
Well, it doesn't give us any info we haven't already seen. Like really, the after Ant-Man ones. This was very similar to how that even was presented to us. They were pretty much Captain America and Black Widow were watching pretty much the same counter thingy and going like, oh my God, this is horrible. And what are we going to do? And then Ant-Man shows up. You know, so it pretty much they took that then instead of Ant-Man, it was Captain Marvel showing up kind of thing.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, so now I wonder who shows up first?
Well, maybe that's a bigger discussion than
like, does Ant-Man show up first, or does Captain Marvel show up first? I mean, who? You know.
Now let's talk about the cat in the room.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That one was weird.
Okay. So you see on the commercial, there's this little orange cat. Samuel L. Jackson has grown to a liking to it.
There's another movie where there was like an orange cat, like
what?
Men in Black. The orange cat with the galaxy on its neck or whatever. I was like watching this cat going like, this cat reminds me of something. I don't know what, but it reminds me of something. And now I know what it reminds me of. There we go.
Oh,
That's what it reminded me of.
I can spoil at least that movie. So it's Orion. The cat's name is Orion.
Yeah.
And it's on his belt. that's where you'll find the galaxy. And then you figure, and you go, oh my God, it was the cat the entire time.
Yep.
Way better than Inception. But
there is no spoon.
I can definitely say do not give spoilers, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's if you've done a good job of not spoiling yourself and you've gotten to this podcast and listened to it, good on you. But yes, the cat
is strange.
It's strange. It did not steal the show. It did not take the movie. It did move the movie.
Yeah, I know. It is amazing how much that cat had to do with the plot of this movie.
I felt like I had an emotional shift when the cat did things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, I would have. Yeah. No, I would have touched the other thing versus the cat.
and the fact that the cat had the connection that it did with Nick Fury. And I'm not talking about here, kitty. No, I'm talking about an actual physical connection that caused a change in his character.
I know, that was weird too. Like, I mean, the cat seemed to like him up until that moment too. Like, it was like, why? Why did the cat? And like, what purpose? I would like to know what purpose this cat, why is it doing all this stuff? Like, it's doing an awful lot for these people, and we have no clue what its motivations are.
The cat should have been a little bit more in the trailer than it was. It had a bigger role than was suspected. In fact,
it was really weird.
Somehow, at the end of this movie, just a step under Captain Marvel, because she did her job. The cat was the most impactful character in this movie, villain included. He changed the game.
Or she. Maybe it was a she. It is. It's
maybe
a woman-powered movie.
Don't assume it's a gender. No, people will get really.
It's a woman-powered movie.
Oh yeah, it's probably is.
It's a feline.
I'm just gonna assume so.
It's got to be a girl, right?
Okay, now to make my very shrewd, crude, weird comparison to Aquaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very strange one.
It is. Okay, Aquaman had characters. Basically, there's Jason Momoa. And which I guess people like because he has a really good Facebook ad. And there's we call it.
We know why women like him.
Yes,
gay men.
He there's straight guys that like him. They really like his beard because they would like to grow one as long as his. There's also the other. I guess Femme Fatale that works. No, not Femme Fatale. The other Aqua lady that was with him. Mara, yes. Those two were a stronger pair and connection than Captain Marvel and Nick Fury were. As a whole, the movie was nowhere near as good as this movie.
Yeah, the CGI and whatnot was definitely better in this one. But the thing is, I think it was easier. Like, doing space CGI is a lot easier because it's just darkness and blackness.
I'm not harping on the CGI.
Whereas water is moving, living, it's flowing. And that's a lot harder, I think, to do.
You knock the CGI harder than I do. I mean, the face when it did humans, horrible. But when he did the world on the DC for Aquaman, amazing.
Yeah.
I really liked what they did there.
But for whatever reason, man, like when they had people underwater, it was just the weirdest thing.
No, it was the dialogue scenes and then like some of their weird decisions, the way they jumped and like, oh my God, the 0 to 60 moments. All of a sudden, they're talking about training. And then like in like less than a minute or two, or just maybe just less than a minute, they're talking about the death of a mother and this and making an emotional impact.
I think the flashbacks in it were just a little too jarring. It was that immersion thing again. Where it like threw you out.
It's like all of a sudden like, okay, so we're going to be meeting up for the first time. Now he's down and like, what happened? Whoa, that went so fast.
Well, I feel like, okay, so Captain Marvel, she had a lot of flashbacks too. But we knew, like, they made it very obvious. They made it very obvious that we were in flashbacks or something else was going on. And, whereas the ones that happened in Aquaman, it was like, wait, what?
It was like if you remove the transitions.
Why is he younger? Who is this person? Yeah, it was just.
Remove transitions and sped it up. That was Aquaman's transition. And there was just so many moments where I just had a hard time just trying to buy in. Like, for a second, they're a lovely family. 3 people go in there, start shooting. I'm taking you. I must leave now. Mom, no. And like, what happened? They were just having a good. They were about to have sandwiches. What's going on? And I feel like in a way there was so much of that inside, and also of course bad face CGI part of it. Where I look at the movie like Aquaman is just for me, I understand this, just storyline, the flow of it was just inferior and to Captain Marvel, but. Mm-hmm. Because the characters that were playing did so much more, they're viewing that as a better film in general. I think that's false for me.
I don't know. Like, I mean, all I know is I've seen Aquaman twice now, and I will probably watch it again. I don't ever need to see Captain Marvel again. I don't want to watch it again. I don't even know if there's pieces in it that I would be like yes, I would like to watch it.
You know the one bad movie I love watching all the time, and that's Breaking. Well, and not the Boogaloo one that everybody else talks about. No, Breaking specifically, because there's that line. It's so dumb that it just deserves putting it on repeat over and over again. They called us chickens. That is just the weirdest thing. There's this line in that movie. For some reason, it's a dumb movie. It's bad, but I enjoy it.
I will say, now, I just reminded me of something. But there was a scene in Captain Marvel that I did like that pinpointed the whole, like, how we view women.
Okay.
And I think they did a good job with it, whereas a lot of the other ones were just really awkward. So there was a scene where she had this really large map, which again was another hint at the time period she was in. And then a guy on a motorcycle popped up and, he was like, oh, like, well, why don't you smile for me, sweetie, or whatever. Like, and guys, they expect that sometimes from women. Like, why aren't we smiling more? I mean, like, okay, you, Xavier, you don't smile a ton, and sometimes like you don't even know, you think you're smiling but you aren't, but you don't have people coming up to you all the time and being like, why don't you smile more?
Yeah, I don't, but then again, I don't have people coming up to me.
Yeah. Well, but they do that with women, women, you back me up on this one, because they do that. I smile all the time, so I don't get it, but I've seen it from other women who don't necessarily smile.
I have standard brute face, and I'm going to keep that when I'm not calling.
Yeah, but nobody's going to be like.
And there's standard B face. I mean, a bitch face. I guess if for some reason that people adopted that name.
But they don't mind telling a woman, like, hey, you should smile more. You're more attractive if you're smiling. But they won't say that sort of thing to you.
Oh, my goodness. It's like you're struggling to be pretty. I got some help. You should try to smile.
Yeah. And so I thought I liked that. I feel like that was a good way of putting in a women's issue without screaming, this is a woman's issue, like.
There was another movie I think we saw before where I think they tried to attempt that and it just bombed.
I don't know.
I cannot think of the name of it, but I remember it was something that we watched and it was just like, it just went in the wrong direction where it tried to defend women and then kind of just painting it as like, like, oh my God, it's just tell this person to leave or shut up. I'm tired of it. Not everybody is an asshole or a dick. It's just come on, let it be. They're one of those kind of movies. Anyway, for our rating system, I am of course going to give this 2 thumbs up, saying it's good. It's a solid movie it's a solid beginning to middle movie for me. It's a good movie. Is it one of the greats? No. You go to Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. That's a great
really
one.
Like that one.
Yes, that's a great movie. This one, you will definitely want to see Endgame after it.
I'll give it 1 thumbs up.
That sounds fair, honestly.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it had some points that it made some decisions there. I think in a way for if I had to hit it on anything, I think it had potential to do a lot greater.
Oh yeah.
Than what it actually did. And I think it didn't meet expectations or exceed in any way. So,
if anything, I like the fact that Hollywood is doing this more now. they're putting more things out there with women as leads. Even like lately, I've seen a couple of horror movies or trailers for horror movies where the women are they're the ones that are doing the killing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like, it's not just, nice, young, attractive men or old, creepy men like Hannibal or, But
here's something I want to say, too, just to add on to it. Whatever movie they do next, please let Larson at least take some suggestions from her end. It did wonders for Ragnarok, Thor. It did wonders for a lot of other movies that we saw before. Let them kind of take lead. I think that helped even for Aquaman, regardless of my feelings of it. I do feel like Jason Momoa probably definitely got some say in some of those scenes.
The thing is, she is better, from what I saw with the movie, when she's interacting with other people.
Yes.
So I really am looking forward to seeing how her character reacts when she's surrounded by like all the Avengers. Obviously, we're not going to get that right away because a lot of the Avengers have disappeared.
We've been here for a little bit longer.
Well, no, but they've disappeared at this moment. When she comes back in Endgame, we're talking about. Let's see, we've seen Hulk, we've seen Black Widow, we've seen Ant-Man, and we've seen Captain America.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Like, those are the ones we've seen. We know Iron Man's still out there, too, but he's off in a spaceship.
He's on his own separate. he's singing his own swan song.
But, although, if, I wonder, like, when he did the Infinity thingy, and did it do half of every, population or just Earth?
No, every population.
Oh, okay.
So every planet, every generation.
Ow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that's where that's going to come. Anyway, there's the comics and how that story ended on their side. I definitely want to say, just to put it out there, that's not going to happen.
Do you think the Krell are going to come in and actually be good guys and help because they're going to be like, holy shit, we just lost half our population?
I already have my favorite Krell. Shoot, I just gave a spoiler. All right, we're just going to end this one before we do any more damage. Thank you so much for listening. This is the It Couple, and until next time, take it easy.
See ya!